Did Daniel Dubois quit? Well, I hate to use the word quit with any fighter, so I'd rather phrase the question the other way. Could Daniel Dubois have beaten the 10 count? Well, let's break this down step by step before we come to a conclusion. So Daniel got knocked down that second time. He was fully reclined on his right side. So there's a series of steps that he would need to go through in order to get fully upright and on his feet in good balance. So step one is he would need to push himself off the canvas a little bit with his right hand, so he's in a semi-reclined position and starting to shift his weight towards his haunches, which are still on the ground, right? The next step would be to continue to push himself up so that he can plant his left foot on the canvas and swing his right foot behind him, so he's got his right knee on the canvas. So I would say that's like semi-kneeling. Next step is he needs to get himself into that kneeling position where his torso is upright, right knee still on the canvas, left knee is fully planted. Now that is an absolutely critical position because it's right there where a fighter needs to take inventory of themselves quickly and say, okay, I've got my brain-body connection back. I can push off with my feet and stand up and keep my balance. So it was crucial for him to get to that position in a timely manner, shall we say. So then from that half kneeling position, he would apply pressure with his left foot and his right foot, stand fully upright in one motion, bring his right foot from behind him to even with his left foot, and then stand there, probably try to make eye contact with the referee, hold his fist up in front of him to indicate, hey, I'm ready to go. And then hopefully the ref would, maybe either tell him, come forward, move to the side, or just indicate, yes, okay, let's continue, and wave Usyk forward and wave Dubois forward. So that didn't happen because Daniel was still pushing himself off the canvas right around 9. And so he did not beat the 10 count. So here's what I saw when I broke it down step by step. Daniel was still reclined by the count of 6. So he tried to rush through all those intermediate steps of getting to semi-recline, getting to almost that half kneeling position, then that critical half kneeling position, and then he tried to stand up, all between 7, 8, 9, and 10, which he did not make. So my conclusion is Daniel should have gotten to that semi-kneeling position, like that sort of classic American football pose for your high school or college photograph. Daniel needed to get to that semi-kneeling position by, I would say, at least 7. So he could then push off. He had 2 counts to push off and get his balance together, because you want to be up. You want to be up by 9. You can't be getting up by 10. You got to be already up by 9, between 9 and 10 at the latest, right? Okay, so the question is, did he linger too long in that reclined to semi-reclined position? I think it's in that semi-reclined position where Daniel kind of paused a little too long. So only Daniel knows what was running through his head. Like, was he saying, do I want to get up? Do I not want to get up? Was he having that debate with himself? Only he knows. But I can tell you from personal experience, you do have that little debate with yourself, like, I could stay here. No. Then that voice kicks in saying, no, get up, like, get up. So if that voice kicked in for him, it didn't really appear that he had that sense of urgency, only because look at how Daniel walked back to his corner. He walked back to his corner under complete physical control, just took very deliberate steps. There were no balance issues. So I think that's why a lot of fighters are saying that he quit, because they're looking at how he walked back to his corner, and they looked at the fact that he wasn't wobbly once he got to his feet, which would indicate that he did his best to get up before the 8 count was over, or before the 10 count was over, but his body simply wasn't cooperating. That's why I think Daniel is getting the proverbial stick, as the British like to say. And I would tend to agree that he lingered too long in that semi-reclined position. So the only question for me is, did he not know how to get up properly in order to beat the count? Like, did he not know the different marks he needed to hit by which count in order to rise to his feet within the 10 count. Again, only Daniel knows the answer to that, but there's a little bit of instinct that kicks in for a fighter, and there's definitely a sense of urgency. Again, if we look at Zab Judah versus Costa Tszyu, Zab's instinct kicked in, but it was too quick, right? He just popped up from being on the canvas to right on his feet. He didn't have the brain-body connection, and he went wobbling all over the ring while still trying to tell Jay Nady, hey, don't stop this fight. So if you would like a counter example of a fighter who was too much of a fighter, in a sense, and wanted to get up too quickly, that would be a classic case. But regardless, the end result does not change. Alexander Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world once again. What were your favorite moments in that fight? If you want to comment on whether you felt Dubois quit or not, that's fine. But I think I'm more interested in hearing what your favorite moments in that fight were. So please leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much.